Hi everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Today is Friday, November 16th, around 12:12 Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to go through the analytics dashboard here, look at these different asset classes. The first one I'll take a look at is the Forex analysis, charts and tables. Right now, as usual, I'm always finding the lira and whatnot always number one, but it looks like the Turkish lira is in a different place. So here we have some news on the British Brexit plans. So obviously the pound is getting hammered there, but just taking a look. So these are what the movers are over the last hour: New Zealand and Swiss franc, Euro and the British pound, New Zealand and the US dollar, and the lira and the Japanese yen, and the New Zealand Japanese yen. Because the US markets are open right now, I just find it bizarre. The US dollar's not anywhere to be found here, but the New Zealand is all over the place. So what I like to do a lot of times is figure out what's going on in the markets to impact the New Zealand dollar. So the first thing I like to do is just to check out what's going on in the markets overall. I haven't really looked at stuff already, but you can clearly see we have here very strange. So everything's all mixed. Oil is up, gold is up just slightly, and then we get into the usual suspects on the currency front here. What does this tell me? Things are just going crazy in the markets. What we used to have in terms of gold and oil used to be indirectly related, but everything just goes up and down together as well. The only ones that seem to go the opposite way is either gold, and gold's not really the defensive play, as well as Bitcoin is just in its own weird la-la land, and just trying to figure out where the relationships lie currently. But if I was to also do a search for New Zealand economy, just to see if there's been any news on, let me just see, I'll just do a New Zealand on the news tab here. It's probably the easiest. Move far enough, patterns, bearish, bias, pound, rate. So I'm just looking for any New Zealand news. Let me just see here what we've got. So who knows? Let me just see if there's any economic. I'll do an economy. This is what I like to do to do research. So I'm showing it to you. November 14th, community input. English remains upbeat on New Zealand economy. That was back obviously in October. So I don't know. That's a weird one, but there you go. So as usual, one thing I like to look at is the volumes. To me, this is some form of defensive play where the New Zealand is definitely taking control, as well as Australia. I've seen a lot of as well. So these are important. The rank I'm not going to bother with. We have the reports. But here, the Euro-British, obviously this is news. Now remember, this is hourly, so there must have been some good news out of England. I believe it was one of the ministers that's committing to stay on, and then the British pound goes up as a result. So that's definitely something to wonder about, as well as the Turkish lira. But you can clearly see here who the defensive play is now. It's no longer the US dollar. I think it's just too stable. The ones that is using, call it equivalent of crypto, stable currency here, seems to be the Japanese yen that people are choosing currently. There's not much when it comes to, and the franc, but not much to the US dollar. And again, this data is from the Oanda folks. Now here's the spread. This is not a good spread here, obviously. Little peak in there, but that's okay. Usually, historically, it's pretty tight, as it should be. Same with this one. The Turkish Japanese yen, you can clearly see there's always some kind of spread cost there. This one's not so bad. New Zealand Japanese yen. Stop loss I'm not going to get into. Now, this is the sort of thing I look for. This is over, I believe it's 180 days, which is basically 3 months. Here you can see some currencies that are just not moving anywhere, very little price movement. These are good for intraday opportunities, but here, shorting opportunity, possibly, and then coming back, we don't know. But again, I've got the alerts built out for that. What I like to do is always look for the Marabuzus, so you can clearly see where the Marabuzus lie. We've done this before a few days ago. So there's quite a few found in these combinations here. And I'm going to be researching these at some point. Some are bullish, some are bearish. But these are classic reversal signals, the Marabuzu. Among how many do we have in here? Let me just see. It can be pretty crazy. A few thousand. Yeah, so you got over almost 3,000. I would say 95% of them are all false, but it's just good information just to track, looking for patterns. I'll keep it that way for a while. Okay, so that's Forex. I just don't see anything that really excites me, but I am wondering, why is the New Zealand dollar among these? And definitely it looks like the Japanese yen is the preferred defensive play as opposed to maybe the US dollar. I'm not sure what's going on there, where maybe international overseas folks don't have confidence in the economy of the US dollar for whatever reason. That's what I'm seeing for now. Okay, let's check out the CFD. We checked out the overall markets right now. So let me just see here what our movers are. So we have now this, I've been noticing the Netherlands 25 has been moving. Obviously the 10-year bonds, UK bonds would move. The Indian 50. But see, these are very small numbers to work with. I mean, as an index, it doesn't really excite me, except for the New Zealand, Netherlands. And I've been seeing this late last week, so I don't know what's going on there. British pound, good defensive play, but that's news driven, obviously. So here we are again, very interesting by volume. You don't see a lot in the U.S. markets here. A lot, like traditionally, when the markets are hot in the U.S., you can clearly see that the volumes were always dominated by the Nasdaq or the Russell or the whatnot. But clear to me that people are putting money into Europe here with the Deutsche, the France, and the Netherlands, the top three, followed by the UK British pound. So again, something must be going on. What I also will know, I have verified this, is last night the Hong Kong and the Chinese and the Indian dominated at our time at night, let's say 10 p.m. New York time. So there's definitely a relation, obviously confirmed, of that. Then we move into the hourly. The Deutsche, again, just kind of going nowhere. You get some bigger moves, but the volatility of it is just not really worth looking at, to be honest. The France, same thing. The Netherlands is an interesting one that I've seen. The UK, obviously that's built around the Brexit negotiations and what's happening out of Brexit. The Euro 50, I don't know. I'm gonna dig further, and that's why I'm looking for the Marabuzus, because they're the ones that make things happen. So here we have the spread here. Spread's looking line. I can barely see the Netherlands here, but that's still fine, I would imagine. British 10-year bond is fine. Same with the Euro 50. little more there in terms of spread. And then we move into the movements here on the Fibonacci levels. They're just not moving. Here's a good one. On the bond, it's fairly volatile. So good news comes out, and that's all obviously driven by the Brexit negotiations. And it's been that sort of thing where it's been very volatile anyway. So again, flat moves here. So I will guarantee you, we have our alerts here working. Let me just see if there's any Maribouzous, nothing. I will need to verify this as we move along in the coming weeks. Okay, so going to crypto. I believe crypto is the place to be back in. You'll see the moves here, and these are the ones that we're just tracking. Oops, wrong one. We want this one. All right, with this one, it's quite interesting. I think crypto is the place to be. You can see the moves here are quite good with XRP. XRP, there's a lot of news on that. And same with XLM has been doing okay as well. And then once again, you see the volumes here. XRP leads the way. SC, XLM are your top three. I'll be changing around the strategy, I think, or I may actually, I'm not sure if I'm going to duplicate it and just focus on the top out of all 300 and have the same programming logic to track the opportunities between the top 40 of the whole crypto space in terms of volume versus the top volume of the top 300 or a certain volume level. But that will also include more of the alternatives that we don't hear about, because I missed out on a lot of opportunities on Tron. So I don't want to miss out on those. Okay, Ven has been having some problems lately. Let me just see who the worst performer is. So the markets are looking pretty strong because when you look at the movers here, you can clearly see majority of them out of 10 entries. I'd say it's actually half and half that are up and down, but only 1, 2, 3, 4 of the big movers are negative right now. All right, so the ranking will leave, reports will leave, but once again, you can clearly see here up until November, and again, this is always hourly. You can clearly see here the 12th to roughly sometime on the 12th. It's just been not moving at all. Everything's been very, very flat for quite a long period of time, but things have been widening out, which again is just a reflection that maybe crypto is a good place to be in again. And that's why I diversified across 3 different asset classes too, because during this time there was lots of activity in the indexes, some Forex opportunity. For instance, yesterday with the CFDs, it wasn't noted, but I did see a 40%, very close to a 40% move on natural gas, and it's settled back down. But if you're lucky enough to capture that, you would have done pretty good. And again here, we are looking for just the simple red versus green, down versus up. You can see here it's pretty tough environment to trade in, but XRP has definitely a lot more green in it. Let me just see if I can blow this up. Yeah, you can. So you can see here we have more green, and the whipsaws down are not so bad, except maybe this one. So that's what we need to look for in the programming logic. Let me just go back to where I was. Okay, so that was XRP. For those that don't know, it's run by Ripple. Okay, so we have some good movement here on XRP. Obviously, BTC has been struggling. Here's some very good moves, I would think, in the last few hours alone with XLM. ADA may come back, who knows, because of the political turmoil that's been happening on that coin. But there's definitely been some volumes here. Now, one thing I will take away from let me just go over the Fibonacci's right now. So you can see here, historically, the XRP has really bounced back, maybe forming some kind of new support level to drive it up further. I'm not sure here. I think SC is having some problems. XLM seems to be potentially on the move up. ADA, I don't know. But I would think, from what I'm seeing here, and I can confirm it, XRP and XLM, so it's XRP BTC and XLM BTC looking not bad. I can never say because it's just, we don't know. But out of all of things, that's definitely ones I'd be watching out of everything that I've seen. Let me just see if I can see any Marabuzus here. Normally I don't. I only see Marabuzus so far in the crypto. In the Forex. But let me just let's see what kind of alerts we can get for the XRP. So we want XRP BTC. Just see what we have here. So there's no alerts. Okay. Usually there's not a lot of alerts. I think the only ones I saw was oh, we got another bug here I gotta clean up. Yeah, okay. That's not a good thing. What I could do is just go into my open up a raw log and just do that, because that will say a lot about where things are. I think we call it crypto alert. Yes, okay. So I'll just do simple open. So load up the software here. So a couple of things I want people to be aware of is the head and shoulders patterns. I'm still questioning, but you can clearly see there's some form of movement on. So what do we got here? We have head and shoulders being detected. Okay, I can pull that up. The SIA coin detected. Is that a bullish signal? I'd probably ignore that. Here's an interesting one. Ethereum, head and shoulders detected. But Ethereum BTC, candle pattern detected. ETC, bullish signal. And that was quite a while ago. Ooh, okay, I'm going to ignore that. Anyways, yeah, not much to look at, unfortunately. But the ones I would probably have a little faith in is this one. XRP, BTC, and XLM BTC maybe, or was that what I wanted? Yeah, that's XLM BTC, XRP BTC. Those are the only opportunities. So XRP and XLM right now over the last 4 hours has done pretty good, and you can tell that by XLM, Ethereum's up 5%. So we'll see, and hopefully I'll be out. We shall talk to you later. Bye.